Everyone, hope everything is going well. Welcome to the Friday night impromptu live stream. All right, Vendorula Warlock. Sorry if I'm butchering your name or your username. Laugh Out Loud 2022 Bowman Inception is $23.5 a card. Seriously, what the F? You'd be lucky to get $40 out of a $65. By the way, have you guys read the disclaimer on the Bowman 2022 Inception packs? Holy bejesus, seriously, you make a product, but you can't guarantee they won't be faked? Oh, wow. That's quite interesting. Do you have that? Maybe I should look it up online. Can you email that to me or send it to me on Instagram? Because that's quite interesting. That you can't guarantee a fake or they won't guarantee that they won't be faked. That's crazy. And speaking of serial numbers, you can't even guarantee that some of these cards, won't have the same serial numbers. And I'm just wondering if for all of the issues out there with quality control, and some people say, hey, look, that card is a fake because it has the same serial number. Now you have to ask the question, is that serial number just a mistake in a quality control issue and not a fake? Now that's something that will have to be looked at in the future, especially for some of these high-end cards. Let's go. Live show as I'm going through cards to throw up on eBay. Also, Topps 2023 Series 1 is a good rip. Ripped a few packs as yesterday. I really don't rip packs as much anymore. I do have some Panini basketball packs from 2021 that I haven't opened, but I'm not usually the dude to rip packs. If I want a card and I know it's in that particular box, I'm going to actually buy the card itself. All right, Mike Boone, did we go to different schools together? What do you mean by that? Different schools together? Elaborate on that. So there's quite a few things to get into. Maybe we'll get more people in the chat or in the live stream. So before I talk about card porn, but I did wanted to talk about especially the high-end market. The high-end market right now still is taking a beating. I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow on one high-end card. And now let's take a look by Michael. Not a huge ripper myself. You're in line at Target, haha. But yeah, 100% a single card buyer. I noticed that at Target and Walmart, you could get all the boxes and you don't have any problems with that. So I find that really interesting. Before, there was no product in 2020. Steve Splenda, before you start, I'm offended. What are you offended about? Especially these days, a lot of people get offended, man, if you associate with some people that say something to them or they have an Instagram post. And man, it's just the time we're living in. Back in the day, it was all brash. People used to say all sorts of things, and now everyone's all heightened up. Collector's Dream. Hello, everyone. What's considered as high end? I'm talking about the high end golden auctions. You're talking about at least $10,000. Some people may consider high end to be over $100,000, but that's what I'm considering. But cards in general should be going higher. So I will talk later on about this. Steve Splenda. I'm offended with Shipshawana weather. What's quite interesting? They said that they'd have a snowstorm here in Chicagoland, and my brother is coming into town today or tomorrow, and he said that, hey, look, I'm canceling my flight on Friday morning, so to avoid the snowstorm. But there's no snow. But you guys got it where you're in Indiana. So John says, when do you think the government gets involved in breaking? It's like the Wild West on Whatnot with people making up games of chance and you don't win anything along with the breaks. I personally think the government is not going to get involved with it. They're more going to go after crypto and anything along the lines of that. I mean, they're coming up with regulations for that and NFTs. And I see Michael's in the chat. I think he posted something about on his MNT trading Twitter page that if you have To the Moon and you're talking about an NFT and you potentially have a material ownership in it, or if you're selling that crypto, you could be in trouble for SEC violations. That's what it's coming down to. So the government is going to get involved in some parts of the collectibles industry, some parts of alternative assets. I think they're going to go hard after the crypto space. Anything new on the Golden lawsuit? Yeah, since you asked, I see a bunch of people have done videos or have done commentary on it. Dustin has done a video. Dan the Cardman, Sports Card Radio discussed it in an article. And my thought process from this is, look, Ken Golden offered the Spiegel brothers $1 million. Okay. And that $1 million, if I were in that position, I would have taken it. But since the Spiegel brothers didn't take it, I think there's something else going on. And what I think is going on is the Spiegel brothers want to go hard after card porn and Ken Golden because they believe, from my understanding, there's some sort of hanky panky going on between them. That there's some sort of what is it called? Um that there's some sort of hanky panky going on. So yeah, it is what it is. And ultimately, what's going to end up happening is, could the Spiegel brothers prove that there's some sort of nefarious behavior with Collectors Universe and Golden? I think if that information comes out, it's going to make them look bad, right? A lot of people right now say, hey, look, show me the receipts, show me the receipts, right? So, it is what it is. All right. Elegant Elliot says, someone please buy Curator's overpriced PMGs and Star Wars cards. So someone sent me, it's actually Pancake. He showed me Curator's index on market movers, and it looks like it's been going down, right? And I also noticed DAPS. DAPS, he said that he's had he put a bounty on some of these cards for $15,000. And I see that they're getting like maybe 100 views on YouTube, right? Star Wars was the big pump last year, right? I caught a lot of heat for it last year. But ultimately, my thesis was correct about it. And now you see DAP's page is 42,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I ultimately get more, subs, or I get more views than him, which is quite crazy. Quite crazy. I think they're trying to impress fanatics with their views. John Fishman, emojis are financial advice. Well, I guess these days it is, especially if you have crypto, you got to be careful. If you have a material amount, yeah, you should be careful. The government is after the next Bankman Fried. So I was listening to Owen Benjamin. Yeah, he says crazy things. Yeah, he says things I don't agree with. And yeah, he uses language I wouldn't use. But he says, there's always these guys that are engaged in Ponzi schemes. They have the weirdest name. Like you look at the guy name, right? Bankman Fried. This dude fried the banks, right? And then you had Bernie Madoff with people's money, right? It just seems like so weird how these names come about. It may be just coincidental, but it is what it is, unless if it's a script and they're just plants, as Hobby Shark says. Did you see CoffeeZilla's video on getting Dylan Dennis to promote a scam? I heard about that. I didn't watch the video, so I should do that. And maybe I'll get back to you on that. Maybe next time. Teabag on you. Why was Cartel giving you crap? So I don't know what he was saying to other people and how, this came about, but maybe I shouldn't even discuss this publicly. But it was my association with Hobby Shark, and I'll just keep it as that. I think Hobby Shark does a good service to the hobby, and he calls out the hanky panky, right? So it is what it is. Um, Richard Price, I imagine the high-end art market would be subject to government oversight before trading cards. The thing is that the government or the auction houses, the art auction houses, they're more subject to government oversight regarding money laundering. And that could be pressure from the government. And I did this video and I got some heat about this. I was mocked about this, but I was talking about money laundering through the auction houses, specifically art. And in the art industry or art auctions, what happened was you had these Russian billionaires in 2014 who had sanctions placed upon them. So what they did is they tried to evade those sanctions by buying high-end art. And that eventually got busted. And what I suggested is that, hey, look, there could be some people overseas using the auction houses for money laundering, right? And I also said that, hey, look, people, that have sanctions on them, they may be playing in crypto, right? And people said that was crazy, but I don't think it's crazy, especially with some individuals in this hobby that are drug dealers or former drug dealers playing in the high end auctions. You know, now they may be clean now, but at one point they were involved in drugs, right? So it is what it is. 1 million from a 9-figure bank account is chump change. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Bob Boozle, a normal name. I like to start a successful scheme, a Ponzi scheme, a Boozle scheme. You want to start with that? No, I'm good. I just give a summary since you asked. It's reality jewelry has historically been a laundering market. New markets emerge and copy the old. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these collectibles industries where there's money laundering, right? And a lot of people, they don't want to talk about this. And what I found quite interesting is that these auction houses for sports cards, they don't have strict internal controls regarding money laundering. Now, PWCC just implemented it, and it could be because the company that is now involved with them, who gave them over $170 million. I'm not exactly sure what that money is for, but they probably told PWCC, hey, look, you need to have a stronger internal control process for money laundering, right? And I think that's a good thing, right? And Goldberg, he messaged me the other day. He said he was talking about my video, and he said that, hey, look, what ended up happening in October, some people were kind of ticked off at PWCC's new procedures, And what he thinks it's because of the new procedures set forth by the firm involved with PWCC. So, and I believe that PWCC still sponsors their program. So he would probably have a little more insight than I would. Elegant Elliot says, can you have Don on and ask him about the Austrian business school? I should definitely have him on. I think he's going to like blow an artery if he does again. But it's quite interesting. Roger Dillon says, what question do you wish you could have asked Brian, the Leaf guy, if you did not run out of time? I would have asked him about Damar Hamlin and all the intricacies behind that and how people gave him crap about it. I was actually defending him, one of the few people defending him about it. I would have asked him that. I would have asked him a little bit more about Fanatics coming in and you doing unlicensed products. And I'd ask him, hey, look, do you fear that Fanatics is going to like come after the guys that you sign with? Marty Bride never thought of Cards for Laundering. Would have made some good episodes. All right. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is the high-end market. And you could look at the markets in general. And I look at, as you guys and gals know, I look at the treasury market. I look at 10-year yields, right? And people are like, who cares about that, right? I've showed graph after graph. Hey, look, if the bonds rally, these 10-year yields, that's usually good for collectibles, right? Negative interest rate environment. And I'm seeing some of the people that trade, I follow on Twitter, and they think that bonds are going to rally. So I expect these cards, especially the high-end cards that have taken a beating, they should be picking up fairly soon, in my opinion. Nothing crazy like 2020, but we're coming close to that point. And I noticed that Sports Card Radio is actively buying, right? And you have to realize that Colin has a very successful investment channel on YouTube. So he's seeing something on his end where it makes sense to buy right now. And I agree, if you have the cash and you don't need to worry about money, from a risk reward point of view, I believe that, people could make money for the next year or so, right? Nothing has changed about that. So I wanted to point that out. Let's look at this question. Please ask Brian Gray why Joe Clemens is able to obtain such a high black label rate at BGS. So if you notice towards the end of the podcast, he discussed this Joe Clemens situation. So, and I could maybe replay it on one of the episodes. He was saying like, hey, ask me a tough question. Ask me a tough question, right? That was one of the, he answered it. And I didn't ask him that because, what's his name? Jeremy Lee asked him about it. And he asked him about the beef between Sports Card Radio and him. Interesting. You need to set up a part 2 with Leaf Brian. Oh, yeah. Or if he's willing to come on, I'm definitely going to have him on. Maybe sometime later this year. For sure. All right. Let's take a look at some of the other comments. I take it you never watched Ozark? Nope, I did not. So let's take a look at some of the other items that I've noticed on my radar. I've noticed that shield bidding, right, hasn't gone away, right? Especially for the Mahomes cards. Patrick Mahomes cards, I noticed the Optic Hollow PSA 10 once again, 2 auctions in a row. It hit $2,500. The highest person with the reviews was 0, right? Or the highest bidder was 0 review, right? When you see that, that shill bid that's not going to be paid. And over a year ago, those Mahomes cards went for what? $3,000, and those were shill bid. Okay. And no one was paying for them, and they kept on shilling and shilling. And then the market just tanked, right? Higher interest rates, stock market was crashing, people were scared. And that Mahomes card, I think in August, went to 1680. And now it picked back up because he won the Super Bowl to around 2100, but then now it's being shilled, right? It's quite interesting. I don't understand why people keep on shilling the Optic Hollow PSA 10 card and also the Silver Prism card. It makes no sense to me. Just being completely honest with that. What's your new take on the new pitch rule in spring training? I don't like it. I remember baseball back in the day without all of these new rules. I liked it more old school, but then you have to remember some of the things have changed over time. We didn't have interleague play, when I was growing up. I think, what year did interleague play happen for those that are baseball fans? Okay. So interleague play was quite interesting. With the Cubs and the White Sox back in the day, they used to do an exhibition game. And I remember Michael Jordan used to play in the games with the Cubs. This was in 1994. So those were some interesting times. There's also reviewing the play. That wasn't done, right? That's a modern form of innovation in baseball. Now what they're doing is they're trying to pander to the younger generation for spring training, the new pitching rule. And you have to remember, these young people have low attention span. That's why they flock to TikTok. The older generation doesn't like it. Now, baseball does have a problem because I believe the average fan is older, right? 50s. Some people call them boomers, right? So baseball is like, hey, look, how do we get the young folk in? That's a question that they're going to have to figure out. Max Scherzer is a Jedi Master and likes the new time clock. I don't know what he said about the time clock, but I'll take your word at it. The thing is, it does get annoying though with some of these pitchers, how they're using analytics and they're taking so much time towards the end of the game and replacing pitchers. So, that's my issue. Now, the thing with baseball is there's a lot of hanky-panky that's gone down with it, right? I mean, you could say there's a lot of hanky-panky with other sports. So the thing is that you have, number one, back in the day with, what is it called? You had steroids, right? You had that issue. 1990, not 1994. It was actually way back in the 1980s. 1980s, Canseco was using roids. There was also McGuire using roids, and then Sosa was using roids in the 90s. The list goes on and on and on. So the thing is, you have to look at what's going on in the last few years, especially in 2021 with 2022 with Judge. So if you look at that research, Meredith Wills, I think that's her name, she figured out that the balls reduced that were given to, or that were used in Yankee Stadium, which probably helped out Aaron Judge hit all those home runs. So baseball is quite an interesting sport. All right, let's see. So this guy has trolled me on YouTube. This guy smells like cat piss. Okay. And then he's spamming my chat. Let's just take a look at this. Steve Splenda used to be able to demolish catchers at the plate. I remember AJ Pierzynski of the White Sox, and Michael Barrett got into it one time. I think it was like Pierzynski slammed into Michael Barrett, and then they got into like some huge fight. It was quite interesting. I mean, look at my logo in the back. Cubs all the way. Judson says, baseball is glorified darts. Ziggy, cheers. A lot of trash talk about my boy Jokic. What trash talk's going on? I haven't been following it. Your boy Blue says, wow, you're an idiot. The pitch clock is in advance for the pitcher. Okay. Santino, I would never pay over 500 on any card that has a pop count over 500. If you do, you are a sucker. So the thing is, you know that Mahomes Optic Hollow PSA 10? People are paying $2,000 for it. So that's quite interesting. He says, you're a moron. Okay. Quite interesting how you keep on spamming my account here. These organizations know when bad stuff is happening, be it coincides with profits. It's difficult to change. All right. 50 isn't a boomer. Gen X. Silly Gen X influencer. Laugh out loud. Okay. All work and no hanky-panky makes Kenny a dull boy. Oh, yeah. So, like I said, I wonder what's going to come out of this card porn lawsuit. And I wonder if the brothers, I forgot their names, but I wonder if these brothers have the information where Golden and card porn, they're in cahoots with each other. And once again, if that comes out, what is the hobby going to say? What is it going to do? And is that a violation of FTC rules? I believe it is. So, yeah, Spiegel. That's right. Yeah, the Spiegel brothers. Bro, you get laughed at every day. You're an idiot. You don't even watch sports. Man, how much soy have you eaten lately? Gamma, you seem to be a gamma male. All right. Inglorious P, did you know card porn's name is John Doe? No, it's not John Doe. It's I mean the lawsuit it is, but we all know who it is. Now, Hobby Shark thinks this dude lives in London now, or maybe actually in the United States, from what I've been told. These players are making multi-millions of dollars. Owners can't afford to have their investments injured, hence running over catchers. Yeah, they're coming up with all these rules in all these sports. If you remember football back in the day, they used to have less rules protecting people, but now they have more rules protecting quarterbacks. They have more rules protecting. You're going to have more rules with the kickoffs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'll see you at a card show. Tell me I'm Gamma, then Bucko. So you're threatening me? That's quite interesting. I don't understand the anger coming from you right now. It's quite strange. I hate to say it, but most card lawsuits get tossed because the courts don't really understand the hobby. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I think you would know a little more about the lawsuits as you studied the history about that. But we'll see. Wait, we have to know who it is now. So, I mean, you could just Google it. You know, it's Juan Garcia. Yeah, yeah, boy, blue 188 must be Kenny G. I don't know. Who knows? What do you think about the SCR situation? Do you feel like they did a 360 on Jeff Wilson? That's like you working with card porn or start consigning card porn. So the thing is that I asked them about this, and I'll probably replay this on Sunday, and you could see that response. But ultimately, they still play that rap song all the time, you know, in their videos. Who's that rapper? They always play that. So I think that's quite interesting. And then in addition to that, they still cover all the hard hitting news in the hobby, right? I know Colin, you know, he looks at my stories on Instagram and he likes them. So ultimately, you know, if there's hanky panky involved, they're still going to cover it. Now they see an opportunity to buy cards, right? And they think that there's a lot of bad information on YouTube about investing and speculating cards. So they thought, hey, look, we should do that as a service to the hobby. All right. Gonna need some Splenda splaining. Mr. Stumbles, what's going on? When are you going to stream with LT? LT is probably going to do a live stream next week. I did tell him that I'm probably going to come on. There should be multiple people on. Your boy, it's a promise, not a threat. Okay. I mean, you seem to be very aggressive right now. So I think threatening people is probably not the way to go. All right. Ken Golden's burner account is Sports Card Reckoning. You heard it here first. That dude, well, whatever happened to his videos, Ziggy? I haven't seen him do a video in a long time. SCR isn't a villain. They are businessmen. Drop your IG. What do you mean drop my IG? They're playing a funny role. So the thing is that YouTube's algorithm, they made an interesting point. YouTube's algorithm promotes people where a lot of people comment, right? So a lot of people comment, YouTube algorithm is going to promote you. Okay. So the thing is, you know, if people get mad at the situation, you know, they're going to get more people coming to them in the long run. So I like watching and observing everyone, right? Where I usually get ticked off is fraud. That's where I usually, you know, go after people or go after the issue. The rap song is hilarious. Yes, it is. You ruined the hobby I love. Yeah, that's pretty that's a interesting song. Santino, would you say the card market is back to pre-pandemic levels? Card prices and liquidation of cards isn't pretty now. It's not going to go back to pre-pandemic levels for a lot of these cards. Maybe some of the base cards, sure. Some vintage cards, sure. But some of the, you know, Fleer 86, that thing is not going to go to $800,000 anytime soon. It could pick up. I expect it to pick up a little bit. If you support good old boys, sorry. I don't support the good old boys. SCR is the best. I only watch those dudes in AIH. Sometimes backyard clips. The backyard situation, Nikki Rips, is crazy. SCR has been covering it. Yeah, I think Lesko has been covering it as well. So that's quite interesting. And maybe I'll do a video on that. I think hard porn is the love child of Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson. That's hilarious. Well-connected SCR will call out Jeff. They just agree that we need to call out a bad guy in the hobby. But they ruined this man's reputation and clowned him every day. Is SCR too big for criticism? AIH. So the thing is that Jeff Wilson, over a year ago, what I would say is constructive criticism of Jeff Wilson. There were videos from, what I've been sent. He was saying that, hey, look, it's time to sell, right? And it was the hype, right? And then all of a sudden, I think he changed his tune or something like that. But was he really aggressively buying? Some of the videos show that he was. So I think you could say that, okay, look, if you're telling people to sell during the hype, but then were you really buying shortly after that? He could have been, but I don't know. I think that's what it is. I think the constructive criticism for Jeff is, I talked about it with Colin the other day. You had him doing videos with OTS Sports, Curator. Like, he hangs out with these guys that may have, or with OTS Sports, he allegedly trim cards, right? I would not be collaborating with him, but it is what it is, right? We all know the thing with Curator, okay? They're supporting Golden, so yeah, hypocrite. So thing with Golden, as a disclosure, I did buy a couple cards from Golden. It's maybe $12. It was immaterial. So you could call me out if you want. So the thing is, their vault is in Delaware, just as you have Alt's vault is in Delaware. And there's another vault in Delaware that I don't remember off the top of my head. And when you look at that, right, you have to look at the fact that there's no sales tax, right? So if Golden is saying, hey, $1 shipping for some of these auctions, I believe, and marketplace, then what's going to end up happening, right? If you're a businessman, you're going to go to the place that has the best deals, right? If you're starting to start a business, that's how I view it. Okay. All right, let's look at this. AI sounds like excuses for SCR. If this was anyone else, you would have clowned them. So here's the thing. I don't know if you remember this year over year or over a year ago. I don't know if you were watching me over a year ago. You had YouTubers coming after me left and right. The people that actually defended me at the time, it was Sports Card Radio. That was one of them. You had Ziggy, Ziggy was defending me. And there weren't that many people actually out there. It's Pancake Analytics, right? I remember those three people were defending me. So I will have to, defend people that, had my back when a lot of people were coming after me. There's because I'm Carlos, right? He kept on ripping after me left and right. And I'm not sure why he kept on coming after me, but like, you had multiple people coming after me, and multiple people came after me after I exposed what his name did. Curator, right? I observed Curator's behavior and called it out perfectly. So it is what it is. Do you watch Sports Card Investigator? Well, yeah, I used to watch his videos. I really like it. I like what he does. Let's see. Retro hoops and sports card dad are legit too. Oh yeah, I definitely like them. AIH and Ziggy are acting scared. AIH, I thought nobody is safe. AIH, you misread my question. Is the card market back to where it was from 2000 to 2018? I think it's more resembling what it was in 2018, to be honest. Bro, you need to tone down you cat piss smell. Okay. I don't understand your behavior. I mean, you're posting these things on Instagram too. All right. This wasn't constructive criticism. They tried to tank his business and rep. All right. We don't want to hear the Delaware tax thing. Okay, I mean, that's your opinion. Like I said, when we buy, my wife and I, we have a tax ID. So when we're buying off of eBay, we get that sales tax exemption, right? Now, the vault is very attractive though. It is. It's not my thing though. I'll tell you why. It's dealing more with counterparty risk. So if one of these businesses does go under, I don't think PSA Golden's going to go under, but there could be another one. I'm not going to name their name, but if they do go under, right, that vault, that's actually a risk. Some places it's not a risk, right? Now, if the whole thing burns down, sure, okay, what are you going to do then? AIH, you've been compromised. Laugh out loud. I don't blame you. I'm not compromised. I don't have any advertisements. You're allowed to talk some blank and still buy from a platform. We all do. Their audience would drown you. SCR creating a niche. Yeah, I think they are. I think what they're doing is they're buying low and they're going to sell high. All right. Dude, I think you have some anger issues that you need to deal with. All right. Let's see. I don't support PSA Golden or anything sketchy, and I can find details elsewhere. I'm a collector, not a day trader. Okay, that's fair game. Got your back here. But okay, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, and I let people talk here. Even the haters like your boy. You can't say anything else about card porn. Bro, have you seen my videos? Did you see me going after Curator and how, in my opinion, his shady negotiation tactics and the Star Wars, the PMGs? I mean, I talked about Don Diego shill bidding. I've talked about all sorts of hanky panky, man. When did you start watching me? Because you could look back and you could see, hey, look, I've talked about a lot of things out there. I talked about Mastro auctions the other day where, hey, look, some people in the hobby were listed on those documents. The guy from SGC, right? The guy from Golden, right? He was listed as, hey, look, someone else was allegedly shill bidding on behalf of Golden. Someone was allegedly shill bidding on behalf of the managing director of SGC. So it is what it is. I should leave card porn alone then? Well, no, I'm not going to leave them alone because what's going on is Card porn, what they do, in my opinion, right? They go after these smaller companies, right? And then on top of it, they come after people like me. They had a Instagram story, and that Instagram story, what ended up happening was, they said that, hey, look, people with a small mic like mine should be quiet, right? They're irrelevant. So, I'm not going to tolerate that from card porn, right? And it appears that the account has been bought off. Let's see. Where did I say that I was a hobby watchdog? I never said I was a hobby watchdog. I call myself a blogger. I think if the market goes on another run, people will get collective amnesia about the hanky panky and turn an indifferent eye, just like the last time. I think so. If you looked at, I started late in 2020 in content. I was in sports cards before that. And it was a lot of, hobby positivity and all that stuff, right? Because you could flip and you could make money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. SCR claimed to be hobby watchdogs. So the thing is, I saw on Card Porn's Instagram handle, they claim to be hobby watchdogs. I didn't see that on SCR's YouTube channel. Did you know on Golden they have an iPhone 1 for over $36,000? Yeah, I heard about. Oh, really? I wouldn't be surprised at the price. Santino, in this hobby, trust no one. Yeah, listen to all, follow none. Not gonna lie, the good old boys are kind of funny. Ken Golden, look at my freaking house. That's funny. Point is, you can learn a lot from these guys. They've been in a hobby a long time. Santino, because it's unregulated. Also, check out SCR interview with the guy who got robbed at the National. Yeah, I did see that interview. That was quite interesting. AIH, you're still my favorite dude. Just had to be real. That's fine. I appreciate people that are honest. There's nothing wrong with that. Didn't Kenny screw Kobe out of money for autos allegedly? I've heard about that. I've heard about it. You can't regulate a hobby. You just have to be self-aware. Bro, I've been a fan since AIH Finance. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I was doing videos calling out a bunch of people in the hobby or looking at the hanky panky. And I was even doing videos. I don't know if you remember, I was doing videos about Gary Vee and the characters that he allegedly stole. Do you remember that? I was doing the shield bidding on Fanatics. That's when I started to get a lot of attention. And then P. Ryan Collection, he just kept on sharing my stories. And that's how, on Instagram, I started to get followers because P. Ryan, kept on, sharing my stuff because I was talking about the issues that no one else wanted to talk about. There are a few. AIH, have you heard that over 30 million of Funko products are being thrown in landfills? No, I haven't. That's news to me. That's quite interesting. Steve says, yeah, I'm upset too. I agree. I speak my mind too. Well Connected says, I'm still a fan. I just speak my mind. Yeah, that's what I'm all about. I tell you what I think, and I appreciate you that, speak your mind too. Ryan McClanahan, do you have any thoughts on inconsistencies with eBay's tax collecting, and which the guy calling you cat piss? That's pretty weak. So I don't know the inconsistencies about eBay tax collecting. Could you maybe elaborate more about that? And I don't know what's up with the guy. He was, keep on starting fights with people on my IG, and then now he's coming on my live stream. Say what you want, right? I just don't understand, what's his beef with me. You better get off the fence, AIH, and leave card porn alone now. Alone now. I'm offended. Oh man, Steve, you're funny. On a card porn episode, when you was going in on him, AIH is just a hanky-panky pussycat. Okay. A while ago, they did say that at least 6 months back. What are you referring to, Chris? Brendan Ryan, you're right. Everyone forgot about the eBay PSA Beckett T206 and 1933 Gaudi forged autograph scandal and the trimming scandal. I love SCI. I just had to speak my mind. Cardboard carpetbaggers is the term I've used a lot for the influencers. Serious question. Do you believe PSA is robbing people when the majority of grades given are mostly 9s and 8s? Well, the thing is that I don't know if these people have a lot of time to go over the grades. So if they don't have enough time going over the grades, then there could be an issue with how the grades are given out. PSA has been robbing people for years. It's called upcharges. Yup. If I pay PSA to grade my cards, I expect at least an 80% gem rate, or I'm taking my business elsewhere. This is why I like buying graded cards. I really don't like sending in graded cards. One time, though, I did get a bunch of 10s when I sent in about a whole bunch of Leaf Mahomes cards. I actually did an opening on one of my videos. You could actually look for it. I got 50% gem rate. PSA 10s. It was crazy. No slander, AIH. I don't take seriously people who complain about harsh grades, especially when some of their cards are rejected for trimming. Steve is offended as usual. We're past talking. My feelings are seriously hurt. AIH, you silly nanny, I slander you. Okay, man. I don't know what's gotten into you, Steve, lately. It's okay for PSA to knowingly grade, trim cards, switch out cards, etc. Okay? So the thing is that they grade a bunch of cards. Yes, some are trimmed. And regarding switching out cards, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not making accusations, right? So are some of the graders doing that? You have to ask these questions. Now, it's impossible to prove. People are sending me info that, there's hanky-panky with graders back in the 1990s with some of the PMGs. I can't verify this, but this is what I've been told. So, you know, there's a lot of things going on. I've gone to Nat Turner saying that, hey, look, some of the cards are definitely, it appears to be trimmed, altered, etc. He said, okay, I'll take a look at it. He never did, right? And they won't unless if like a sports card radio does a video on them or some big channel exposes it, then they're going to do something about it. But like a small channel like mine that covers it, it's going to be ignored. So it is what it is. Chrissy, cause people are sheep, unfortunately. You hanky panky that submission, I slander you. Okay. Well Connected says, how do you feel about Sports Illustrated for kids cards in their market? I was buying a lot during the pandemic, and those are some cards that remind me of my childhood, so I kept on buying them. Now, what cards would I look at? If you're collecting, collect what you like. But if investing, potentially speculating, I would look at some of the older Jordan cards. I would maybe look at the LeBron cards. Is this the real card porn? Can I come on your live? This must be a fake. This must be a fake. The thing is, I'm pretty sure it's someone else. But, card porn is always welcome to come on. But, they've blocked me, so I don't know how I could send them the link. But yeah, if you want to come on, you could definitely come on. Oh yeah, going back to this comment. I mean, LeBron rookie, I think that's what I would 2003 card. I had a bunch of them. I bought a bunch of them during the pandemic, and I made money on that. I bought about a BGS 8 a few months back. Also, what card would be more valuable in 50 years? Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, my thoughts. That's a tough one. It's a really tough one. If I had to pick, I'm going to answer in two ways. In terms of collecting, I'd prefer to collect Jackie Robinson. In terms of investing, I would invest in Babe Ruth. That's just me. I could be wrong. Okay. Do you think any other online platform out there can overtake eBay for most popular place to buy and sell cardboard? It's hard because Fanatics is going to come up with an online auction house, or they're going to have a live streaming place. So I really don't know, to be honest. I can't tell you. If you haven't watched the Joker and don't get why he's a 3-time MVP, watch the game that is about to start against the Gorillas. How do you feel about Disney Impel due to Lorcana? You got to ask Pancake Analytics about that, to be honest. He knows more about that. I think it was overhyped, but, some of the Disney people get mad at me about that. Steve said, Splendus is card porn. Yeah, that's quite interesting. I don't know if that's even a fake account that put a message down below. All right, let's look at this. Do you think BGS is a better buy in Sports Illustrated cards or PSA? I mean, PSA has the most resale value. I just bought a BGS card. I was buying mainly PSA cards during the pandemic. All right. Santino, the first person to invent a machine that slabs and instantly grades your cards will be very rich. A kiosk, if you will. That's probably not going to happen. Ruth, baby. Yep, Babe Ruth, probably better investment. But once again, I'd rather collect Jackie Robinson. Wonder if we can expect comic book porn and coin porn accounts. They are everywhere and nowhere, laugh out loud. Well, I do know, I've heard of stories of these women on OnlyFans that are part of, the Pokemon hobby or sports card hobby. I've been hearing rumblings about that, right? To each their own, though, right? To each their own. Is it wise to grab the first Prism set 2012 now since the switch to Fanatics? I can't tell you what to invest in. Um, that's something that you have to ask a basketball expert, to be honest. Wasn't that Giannis's first year, if I'm correct? Maybe not. How do you feel about the Negro League cards? I think it's a good area to invest in. If I had more dough right now to speculate, I'd buy probably like a Satchel Paige. I think Satchel Paige played in both leagues, from my understanding. But I would definitely look at him. Yeah, Giannis was 2014. Okay, yeah. Man, it would have been wise to buy Giannis back in the day. I know P. Ryan Collection was buying Giannis like crazy. And then he flipped it and he thought like, oh man, I could have made more money if I just held it. Well Connected is treating AIH like an AI bot. That's hilarious. Judson says, I have a blank load of 2015 Joker. I know Steve Splenda buys a lot of Joker. So the thing is that would Joker be dominant in the 1990s? Because you have to remember the game is played differently today. A chat GPT AIH, laugh out loud. That's funny. Still have my 13 Prism Green Giannis 9.5. Okay, that's cool. That must be worth a good penny now. (2013) was Giannis. 2012 was first year Prism basketball loaded with rookies. I think Jeff Wilson was buying a bunch of those boxes back in the day. So, that's quite interesting. Now, I wonder what happened to the value of those boxes. Yeah. Yep. What do you think about Kobe Bryant rookies? Let's focus on Topps, Paper, and Chrome PSA 10. A lot of those cards have come tumbling down. Once again, if I had dough, I'd probably buy. If I had a lot more dough, I'd probably be buying that. I'd be buying Kobe's, older Jordan cards, older LeBron cards, and who else? Maybe some Tiger Woods cards. I would buy all the goats. Mickey Mantle, older cards, Willie Mays old cards, Hank Aaron older cards, etc., etc., etc. What do you think of Kobe on card autos? I mean, if they're graded, sure. I mean, especially if they're older, I think that would be nice to have in a collection. Investing wise, speculating, sure. Jeff was buying sealed select for a while, I think, as far as basketball. Yeah, he was buying a lot of basketball during the hype. I think that has come down and probably a better buying opportunity, assuming that the box hasn't been tampered with. Let them sleep on Joker's cards. I've seen this movie before. Serious question. Is an asset that feeds itself mostly on shady comps a good investment? I personally don't like shady comps. I mean, the only thing where, okay, if you have shady comps, but the player delivers year after year after year after year, then okay, fine. But it could withstand that. But for most players, probably not. What do you think of the Topps Chrome Refractor Kobe Bryants from the 2000s? Those in higher grades, I think, are desirable, in my opinion. Let's see. Vintage rules. Yeah, a lot of vintage cards are pretty nice. And if you can get some autographs of some of these older players, if you have the cards that are raw, that would be pretty interesting, right? I'm going to try to get some of these vintage cards that I have. I have a few Nolan Ryan cards. I'm going to try to see if I could find a way to get his autograph. Not buy it online, just actually get it myself. I think you could go to his foundation, donate money, and then you could get, autographs that way. If I could afford Mantle, I'd buy. Yeah, I think a lot of people would want to buy Mantle, but I prefer. I heard that Mantle was a jerk, right? And I prefer, like a Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, some of those players as well. The thing is that, like, a rating wise, some people rated Hank Aaron, Mickey Mantle greater than Mantle. So why is Mantle's cards higher priced than those two? That's something to think about. The only big man I would collect is Wilt Chamberlain. Okay. He was a very athletic individual. He did track in college. And my buddy John, I was talking to him last night, and he said that he could bench more than Shaq, which is quite interesting. What do you think about Lou Alcindor, rookie 1969? Yeah, anything with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that's, if the market's tanking, it's a better time to buy, in my opinion. Not telling you what to do, though. I like deep dish pizza. That's my favorite Chicago dish. Bob Boozle says, Jeff has made some pretty boneheaded decisions and offered bad advice for $1. He deserves it. All right. Steve Splenda says, AIH, what do you think about Aaron Hernandez rookies as an investment? Oh, good Lord. Like, what do they sell on eBay? Does anyone, follow Aaron Hernandez market out there? I know people were buying it during the pandemic. I remember. It's like also OJ Simpson. Like, how much is OJ Simpson going for? My grail is the 68 Venezuelan Ryan. Oh, I'd never even heard of that card. That's interesting. Vintage. Vintage key rookie cards you can't have at all. Aaron Hernandez, OJ Simpson, dual auto. Oh man, I love that. I love that. Crooked Ken, what's going on? Question for the chat. Who are the 3 biggest grifters in the hobby? Who are the 3 biggest grifters in the hobby, guys and gals? The Hernandez market is a killer. Maybe I should take a look at Aaron Hernandez cards right now on eBay. That would be quite interesting. Aaron Hernandez. How much does a Ray Caruth go for? That's a good question. Aaron Hernandez card. So I see this rookie card. 8 people are watching. You could buy a rookie card Topps Chrome for basically $5. That's quite interesting. All right, let's take a look at this. Someone on March 2nd, there's a murder auction. What murder auction card? Someone paid $50. Let me look at the highest paid. That would be quite interesting. Aaron Hernandez, 2010 Topps. Someone paid $250. $250. Oh man. Curator and his squirrel Merle. Hey, the Mark Jackson Menendez brothers cards was a hit. Yeah, those are a hit. For sure, for sure. Serious question. Is Eugene Levy your father? He's way too light-skinned to be my father. All right. Ray Caruth, 1997 Bowman's best rookie card, number 106. Buy it now, $1. Okay, $1. Ray Lewis, cough, cough, but Ray Lewis never went to jail, from my understanding, or never served time for that. Wasn't he exonerated in technicality? What's going on here? More hanky panky? Yeah, I guess it's hanky panky. Judson, what do you think the value is of the actual Jeffrey Epstein list? Oh boy, that must be multiple arms and a leg, right? Man, isn't that some sort of list supposed to be released soon or something like that? American Pie reenactment starring AIH as Eugene and Siebla as humping a pie. Oh boy, man. Siebla is quite interesting. Oh man, let's see some other cards. Let me see OJ Simpson cards, okay? OJ Simpson rookie card. Are people going to speculate in OJ Simpson cards in the future? $20, like $15. So people are paying what, $50 for OJ Simpson autographs? Reprints. His rookie card. Let me see what's the highest someone paid. Yeah, I see someone said that he signs too much. So a near mint card could go for a lot. Someone paid what, $2,000 for a mint card of OJ? I find that hard to believe. Let's look at this. I bought a 2012, 2013 auto on card, authentic, bug, auto grade 10 in a BGS slab. What's the value of Monica Lewinsky's dress? Is that ever going to be put on auction? Ray Lewis is more guilty than Barry Bonds. Don't at me, bro. OJ signs too much. He's broke. So I do realize, or I've heard that his pension is protected. So he gets, I think, X amount from the NFL a year. I think that's what it is. How much is a glove worth that was in the OJ case? That's a good question. How much is Michael Jackson's glove worth? Why are Michael Jordan on card autos like 6,000 and above? I don't know. Bro, I volunteer to be Stifler. Oh, man. Yeah, it's going to be redacted, Chris, in my opinion. All right, let's see. Ron Jeremy Otto. Oh, boy. I like a game used O.J. Simpson Ford Bronco. I think a Jose Altuve buzzer auto would be big. What about a Sammy Sosa corkback auto? I think that would be huge. That would definitely be huge. Or if someone were to get one of those balls that Aaron Judge hit, and those were one of the balls that were one of the so-called juiced baseballs. Why did OJ butcher Fred Goldman's son? We all know why. The Juice has a huge fan base like Pete Rose. They will always be collectible. Yeah, that is quite interesting. I wonder if you like get a rookie card of Pete Rose and get him to sign it. I wonder what would happen to that value. That Monica dress needs a washing to avoid funky organisms. Yep, for sure, for sure. Is there any proof that the Astros use buzzers? Well, some people think that they did. Todd Van Popolato. Michael Vick event used dog collar. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Player submitted your test coming soon to mega boxes. Oh, boy. When OJ was found not guilty, all the people at my school ran down the hill, was yelling, "The juice is loose." What was I in? I was in elementary school. I remember the janitor was watching on TV. I didn't know too much about it as a kid. Yeah, Astros use trash cans. All right. And they use buzzers for sure, for sure. All right, guys and gals. I think I'm gonna end the live stream, but it was fun doing this. And we'll definitely do this sometime soon. All right. Talk to you guys and gals later. Oh, that's quite interesting. Judson lives 2 minutes away from the OJ crime scene. I have courtroom used litigation docs for sale. I'll have to end it on that, Crooked Ken. All right. Talk to you guys later. See ya. Bye.